Hello, and thank you for listening to this teleseminar on the path of initiation. This is for January 22nd, 2014. I'm SummerHawk Wolf. I'm an initiated guide in the hierarchy of light and able to facilitate spiritual initiations. So I pray that this whets your appetite, answers your questions, explains things, helps you understand your yearnings and how it is part of the spiritual path. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 initiations that I currently offer to those who are seeking. Today we'll especially talk about the first 3 initiations. Initiation into the lineage of Melchizedek, level 1. Initiation into the priesthood of Melchizedek, level 2. Mysteries of the priesthood of Melchizedek, level 3, which is the path of shamanic healing. So we begin with this: what is initiation? And we are all self-initiated. Each and every one of us has asked to serve, to bring healing to this planet. It may be the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? But with that spiritual flavor to it. Now, when you're self-initiated, you use your own energy. So when you're doing healing work, when you're doing Reiki, when you're doing IET, that you are flowing your own personal energy. Some up to a point, but when you're spiritually initiated, when you have that physical hands-on initiation, as has been done for thousands of years to initiates, is then you are able to flow spiritual energy. And just not a trickle or a little bit, but a person who is spiritually initiated becomes a conduit of spiritual energy, and being the fact that it's spiritual and divine energy, that means it's unlimited. One of the names of God, when talking about the tree of life, the translation is the limitless, or the limitless light. And what a delicious concept for what is available to you. So some of the questions that I try to answer today is, how does initiation enable you to access deeper levels of energy and spiritual knowledge? Well, what happens first and foremost in your seeking and in your asking? And as a level 1 initiate, I ask for your name to do a naming ritual where I go to the hierarchy of light, because even though I facilitate the spiritual initiations, it is up to the hierarchy of light and the brotherhood and sisterhood of light to accept you. So that sets that whole process. As you know, before you receive a session, the energy is already flowing. Perhaps even when you think about booking a session or taking a workshop, that energy flows. So with a spiritual initiation, rather than looking outside of yourself for teachings, these initiations activate that ancient knowledge within you. You become a magnet. You vibrate at a higher level, and you attract what you're seeking. And these unfold from many sources and paths. That's why in your journey already, when you may have read something perhaps a few years back or even as little as a few months back, and you don't quite get it, that information comes back to you. You read it, you have that aha moment, you're able to understand it and live it and breathe it. And that's what initiation does. It is also that remembering of your own God spark, your own divinity. in doing that, this knowledge that you're receiving, such as through books or the teachings that are the part of the initiations, you're able to transform that into understanding and wisdom, because you live it, and breathe it as well. And that accelerates your own personal ascension process, because you're asking to serve. You're asking to open your heart to the Christ consciousness. This is something that has been done for thousands of years. As you know, Jesus of Nazareth studied with the Essenes, perhaps even traveled to Tibet, learned Egypt as well. When the family fled to Egypt to escape political persecution, he had a chance to learn. That's why there's nothing in one of the Gospels about the childhood of Jesus until age of 12. And all of a sudden, he's teaching in the temple and astounding those much older and much more learned, because he's vibrating at that. He's living and breathing that. So these are also the teachings and the rituals you will receive in the initiations have been passed down from master to student for thousands of years. One of the beautiful quotes from Rumi is, "What you seek is seeking you." God desires, the divine source, Elohim, Great Spirit, any of the names, to become manifest on this planet through your heart, through your hands, through your voice. When you receive a spiritual initiation, you are also sealed in the light for that personal empowerment of yourself. Now, when we say initiation to the hierarchy of light, you may have heard initiation to the Great White Brotherhood. Then some people have, to make that sound a lot less limiting, they will say the Great White Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Light. I prefer the hierarchy of light. First and foremost, in level 1, what you will receive is an energetic alignment. Right now, you're flowing clockwise, or counterclockwise, excuse me. You're flowing counterclockwise. Clockwise is the flow of the will of God in the universe and nature. So in this, you are naturally contrary, just by being born into this planet. First level of spiritual initiation takes your energy and flows it clockwise. So the analogy I use is, rather than going upstream in a kayak and fighting the current, so what you're doing is you're turning, and you're easily and effortlessly flowing with very little energy required with your paddle to stay straight in that flow. So the differences in the 5 initiations that I offer is it's just a deepening of the energy. The path of shamanic healing, whether you're a light worker or not, it is your desire to know yourself and to open your heart and explore who you are. This is reawakening your divine blueprint of your true self. This is how your gifts open. You align to that power within and become that person you've always dreamed of. One of the things I get very excited about is that I'm not excited just because I facilitate and do the initiations, but that what it has meant for me in my life. The spiritual gifts of mine that have opened, the little tastes I had younger, the knowing who's going to call, or having dreams about people that would happen once in a while, with practice and with flexing your spiritual muscles, become even more a daily and a waking process, which is so exciting. A prerequisite for initiation in the level 1 is the Melchizedek light activation. The work that I facilitate is a shamanic work with etheric and auric surgery and armor removal. So where we have, instead of one inner child, we have dozens and dozens. So is healing their traumas of that age. An easy example of is anyone that experienced that their parents divorced. So whatever age you were at that time, that little one split apart, took on all the guilt, took on all the blame, this is my fault, took on all the issues of abandonment and loss and not being loved. And in healing, and my work is to specifically see structures that that little one has encasing themselves, that in releasing that structure, you reintegrate with all of that beautiful child's gifts, joy, ease of receiving. You know, the world is not a scary place. It's full of miracles and magic. And you're able to bring that and integrate that into the rest of your life so that you as the adult begin to trust, begin to see the big picture, and know that it is many miracles are your birthright. Can also help with chronic physical ailments or chronic life patterns or decisions where you go, here I am again. I said I would never get involved with this type of person, and here I am, whether it's alcoholic, bipolar, emotionally distant, emotionally and physically unavailable, etc. Beautiful, beautiful lessons. Begins with a body scan. Takes about an hour and a half, 2.5 hours. You can say yes to releasing the structures or no. Makes no never mind. But what it does is it allows that energy to flow to all parts of you. In the level 1 initiation, it's about a 4.5 hour initiation. One of the most exciting things next to the initiation itself is the fact that you will receive a binder of rituals. You will learn how to focus and direct energy. These rituals will empower you. They bring about protection because you'll learn about the sacred circle, the magic circle, how to feel that you're protected and know you're protected so that your spiritual gifts can open. Because it is about when you're sensitive, and as you know, these days on the planet, you feel everything. So with understanding and doing these rituals, is the sensitivity goes back to becoming the gift that it was always meant to be. That you know when you're supposed to call someone. You in tune exactly what that person needs to hear. That you know of a situation that this is not necessarily in your highest good. So you can run in the opposite direction if that's the choice. It's going to enable you to be, again, that conduit of energy. We learn how to call the energy. You learn about the financial and spiritual abundance rituals, which will help you remember that what the world says and the rules the world have are not the same as the spiritual rules. So that it is, if you are doing this work full time, it should be easy, it should be effortless, because you're doing your joy. Also with initiation, rather than just learning about it, you will live and experience the mysteries, the energy. You will feel it and you will taste it. Rather than most people where their experience with church is through an intermediary, is through a priest, is through a minister. Melchizedek is an ascended master, and so he flows that energy. You receive 4 new spiritual guides to achieve your full spiritual potential in this lifetime. You receive 10 times the power, and I'm talking about spiritual power, not human power, to do light work in this world. We also learn about the Kabbalistic cross, which predates the Christian cross. Ways of empowering and protecting you. So when you're out and about in the planet doing whatever it is that you do, whether it's a corporate job or doing light work, is that you feel and know that spiritual protection. Level 2, the initiation into the priesthood of Melchizedek. This is not for everyone. It is specifically for those who have a deep desire to serve. And again, you may not necessarily be a full-time light worker. You may be, in any of the service, or I think anyone that interacts with other people have that potential to bring such healing on this planet if you are open to it. Melchizedek being a high priest and king, he brings in those two aspects of human and spiritual to us, those dualities that we are all about balancing and learning about. You receive even more information. This is at least a 7-hour class. You learn about the hierarchy of light, where we came from, why we're here, the energy of the archangels and angels that are on the tree of life, as well as the God names of the tree of life. We have a meditation to enter into the Holy of Holies, where you go before Master Melchizedek. Then at the end of the day, there is a sealing and sanctification ritual. There is an activation of a power tool that you receive specifically for the work you will be doing in service. There is a laying on of hands to receive the Holy Spirit, Shekinah, which is wisdom. And then there is that initiation into the lineage of the priesthood of Melchizedek. Now for those that decide to go even further, I have what's called the path of shamanic healing. In this, you learn healing modalities that you can use in your own practice. You can use on your friends, as I said, if you're not a light worker. There are also other prerequisites. Of course, there's the level 1 and level 2 of the initiations. There is also the Awaken to Spirit channeling intensives, level 1 basic and level 2 advanced, where in that, so that you understand when we talk about energies, you understand when you're channeling. And of course, you're practicing to bring that to a deeper and deeper level, to have that divine guidance, not just for yourself, but for others and what is in your highest good. This is the way I was trained when I studied in a mystery school. So you will be not just learning charts and facts, but you will be experiencing these different dimensional energies. We work with the 4 elements in level 1. In level 2, again, rather than me telling you about your spiritual lineage, you go to these higher spiritual dimensions. You find out, oh, how yummy, where you're sourced from. Your monad, which is your spiritual parent or spiritual grandparent. You learn if you have a channeling contract for the hierarchy of light with a master of light. You learn who you are as an archangel and your archangelic self. 2 very, very deep and intense days where you get to practice so that when you leave, you absolutely know you are receiving spiritual energies. You meet and work with your higher self for those 2 wonderful days. There is also an etheric energy class where you learn about the shamanic structures, the way I work with them, but you also learn about your auric field and your chakras. There is an astral travel class where you learn how to safely go to the other dimensions. There is a sacred geometry class so that you activate those sacred shapes of the triangle and the cube and the sphere within yourself, but then you can also seal, protect, and activate your home, your rooms where you meditate. Should you be a light worker, where you do your work in out calls as well. And then there is before that, then the prerequisites, then is the mysteries of the priesthood of Melchizedek. This is in the path of shamanic healing, learning how to balance elemental lines, because you know what it feels like from the work that we've done in the magnetic lines. You learn about the central core. You learn how to remove people's crown cap removal, something we all come in with on this planet, and is one of the most delightful modalities I do. I usually at expos or healing events do that for people for free, so they have a taste of what is energy work about. It's quite wonderful to see their eyes get bigger, especially little kids who are so sensitive. Level 4 is going to be new for this year, as well as 5. 4 is on the calendar for, I just have to look here, for Sunday, March 30th. Now what I offer is I offer the initiations levels 1 and 2, as well as the channeling class, at least once a month, on weekends, sometimes during the week if there's a special call for it. I do in March, beginning on Friday, March 21st, I do what's called the Path of Shamanic Healing Intensive, where I offer all of the classes, the initiations, the prerequisites, so that in, it's 8 days' time, that you are able to progress through all the levels of initiation. And when I studied, I went out to Utah for 10 days and had different classes, and we had prerequisites before we got there. But the time to be there, to be outside of, first of all, my comfort zone, to be in this place where the energy was flowing. None of us slept for the 10 days. To keep learning to be around like-minded people. And as I said, that will be in March. I offer it that intensive several times a year, so especially if you're traveling from out of the area. Oh, that brings me to a good point. All of these are something that are hands-on. So as it was done in the ancient temples, from master to initiate, hands-on, it is the only way it can be done. And I said that's how you can sort of weed out the not of the authentic lineage or tradition, that it is hands-on. There is an energetic transmission with being present to that energy and that verbal oral tradition of handing down. Also, I'm here to with the rituals to help you feel comfortable in doing it. The hand movements involved for the sacred circle, or the calling upon to ask the spiritual energy to come to you and assist you. A wonderful opportunity for you to allow yourself to receive. And the reason I offer it several times, or at least once a month, is so that you will do it in the pace that is the best for you, is in your highest good. There are those of us who love to savor the spiritual energy like a 7-course meal. So to take level 1, and they're back to back, so you may want to possibly wait. There's others that want to jump right in and say, I want to take the initiation level 1 on Saturday, and I'm coming back the next day for level 2. It is an opportunity for you to do it in the way that your heart desires, that is in your highest good. Especially if you have a job out on the planet, it gives you level 2 or doing level 1, it gives you that opportunity Sunday to rest, to assimilate, to chew on the energies. Some people, if they do all weekend, they have been known to take off Monday, just so they don't have to go back into the world. So it was very wonderful for you to discern if your heart's calling you, in what way you choose to do this. I had no choice. I had to do it all back to back, but it was wonderful. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. I ask if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm on Facebook, SummerHawkWolf.com. I'm also, you can reach me through my website, www.summerhawkwolf.com. You can also email me. It's info@summerhawkwolf.com. Please let me know if you have any questions, how I may assist you on your healing journey. And I ask that Elohim is with you, within you, and flowing out from you. Namaste, and thank you.